Happy Monday, everyone. This is Clutch Crypto, host of Trading Bros and Coffee. This is Monday morning, 5/9. The market just opened about 10 minutes ago. We are missing B. Wellington. He is out this morning with a unfortunate dental emergency that he is attending to. So I'm going to take this show myself, solo, to kind of go over what's happened over the weekend. We got some exciting stuff for you guys that's kind of inbound here. So I want to just chat with you really quick. My chart's set up a little bit differently because I like to put things on my chart a little differently than B. Wellington. But as you can see, this is ETH on the daily chart. These two yellow lines symbolize the trend lines that we normally talk about. As you can see, we dipped below that. You can also see that we came down here, recovered this wick. And the question is, are we going to recover any more of this? Is this the new low? Something that I want to talk about that most people that we don't really talk about on the show. This is USDT dominance. And this is also on the daily chart. And so what you normally see is inversely, when say crypto is on the downside, you're going to see USDT dominance going upward. However, if we go downward, you're going to see it crypto going upward. So something real important that I wanted to talk about here is the fact that we broke a new high with USDT dominance. That happened yesterday right after the market opened for Australia. So big deal is now, will we continue, since we do have a new high? Are we going to get rejected really quick and come down and take in these ranges right here, or are we going to pump, causing us to come down into these areas of interest for ETH? As I mentioned, we've come down to the 2364 mark. If we go down and if we break below 2156, because there's nothing holding this. The only thing that's going to hold this is if they form some liquidation, or they form areas of interest to come back to as they come down. All of these red lines are areas that we use that are targets for vector candles that always pretty much come get recovered. So at some point we are going to come back into these ranges. We are expecting opening this week to be very negative. So, this being what it is in the trading world, when people think that we're going to keep dropping and everything else, normally there's a reversal, but there's a few other things that we also want to talk about, because people are still going long. And as long as people are still going long, well, I think the market's going to keep trying to weigh it down. So, again, this is the daily chart right here. We're down here in this range right now. On the ETH, we're at 24.27. And it does look like we're starting to have a little bit of a pump coming in. If you want to look at a little smaller time frame, let's slide down to, let's say, the 15-minute to kind of get an idea of what we're going to see a little bit later today. We are down at M0. The daily open is above us up here at 25.30. This blue line right here, guys, that's where we closed at end of New York session Friday. That's 26.89. The likelihood, that's also called CME gap for those that don't know. And the likelihood of us returning back to that point this week are pretty high. As you can also see, there may have been a possible W formation on the 15-minute form down here at the bottom, indicating that we might see some more movement up to the upside early on. As you can remember, False Moon Monday, we already opened with a pretty nice drop that happened this morning. And this is the 1 minute, by the way. We've come up, touched the 800 EMA. We're getting rejected. I'm going to remove that because we already hit that vector candle. We haven't touched this one. Once we come down and touch this one, what we do when we get in this range are critical. If we break below this, guys, expect new lows, expect more movement to the downside. As you can see, this pump did not break above this other peak here, which is an indicator that we may possibly go down. As you can see, we're going down right now. How far will we go? We'll definitely come down in this range. We need to recover this vector candle well. 2382 I definitely see on the inbound for right now. Let's look at the this is the economic calendar that we check every day. As far as this week goes, Monday we have wholesale inventories. They're coming out at 10 a.m. Consumer 1-year inflation expectations and consumer 3-year inflation expectations. Well, I think that's going to be some news that's going to be coming out as far as inflation goes. Let's see how they work the numbers out. At any rate, inflation has drastically increased over the last year, so those numbers are probably going to be high, and I'm assuming more or less negative. But let's we'll hang in there to see what happens. Nothing real big is coming out, I don't think, on Tuesday, but some things that we want to pay attention to is your consumer price index. This is all Wednesday. Core CPI, year to year, year over year, and the federal budget comes out Wednesday right before market close at 2 p.m. Actually, that is right at market close because these are Central's time, no, that's right. We got 1 hour before market close on Wednesday to see about the federal budget. Thursday, initial job claims. And Wednesday and what we're probably going to see midday today are probably going to be the biggest factors that we're going to see that I think are really going to affect the market this week. We're going to slide over to the funding rate real quick. And as you can see, guys, this is something I wanted to talk to you about when we were talking about maybe possible movements to the upside. Everyone's still long right now. Everyone is long, all the way across the board. Long, 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 long. And as long as people are long, the market's probably going to fight against it. Again, that's just an opinion and an assumption. This is not financial advice. As you can see, we have dropped down. We've slowly been dropping down. Let me slide this out here to kind of a bigger time frame here. So May, we've pretty much been steady until today, and we're starting to drop into the $6 billion range, down from $7 billion. So pay real close attention to that as well today, guys. So let's take a look at High Block Capital, see what's going on with that. I'm going to refresh this for us real quick and see what we got going on. As you can see, there's tons of liquidations for shorts above us. We have excess of 60 million all the way up to 2860. So that's kind of a critical area we want to pay attention to, 2860. And we really want to pay attention to making sure we don't break out of 2965. If we do that, expect some higher highs. But again, guys, we're definitely in a bear market as far as the recession goes and everything else. So be very cautious of your trading activities, guys, because a lot of people are still trying to go long. So we do think some shorts are going to be continuing to come in. However, we may need to get a bounce to come up and allow these market makers to come up here and get this big liquidity that's sitting out here, or maybe they let it go and they continue to go down and keep fleshing it out and then do a pump towards the end of the week. So again, those are real critical areas to pay attention to. Let's get Bookmap out here, see what Bookmap's telling us, and see if we can kind of get a good idea. We have negative CVD of 57,000, and sorry, this is a lot of data, so it needs to take a second to load here. But as you can see, we don't have any real big orders sitting above us at this point. We got 2,300, we got 2,200, we got 2,000. And then even down here, sub 19,000, we have 3,100 orders. And guys, this is all going back to this chart that we were just talking about. Let me swing this back over here to the daily real quick and show you guys. This is the 18. If we break this wick, I'm not saying we're going down here immediately, but what I am saying, if we break this wick, we will get here. How quick do we get here? That's going to depend on the market orders, what the market's doing. Market's getting a lot of negative news right now. I do expect that we come into this area, 2684, recover CME. I also expect that we probably slide into this area as well, which would basically be giving us a rejection off of the trend that we were currently in, coming back up here to reject off of this and do a continuation up, to the downside. Because look, there's only one goal for these guys, and it's to trap as many retail traders as possible. People like you and I, trap them and then take their money. As long as you're trading smart, as long as you're trading with a style that works for you guys, you can beat them, no problem. Well, I say no problem. It's a long road, that's for sure. You're gonna pay for your education, and I can guarantee that. But like I said, I expect us to maybe get up here into this 2900 area this week, just to get a rejection off of that, so these guys can come up and close those short liquidations, and then possibly some movement to the downside. Are we going down first? Are we going up first right now? As it looks, on a smaller time frame, we started down here, jumped up, came with a little stop hunt to the high up here to 2449. We've already started to work our way back down here. We have a green vector at 2383. Will we come back and get that now before we get to up here to the daily open, which we have areas up here to reclaim as well. So we're just going to have to pay really close attention to see how that works out for us today. Those are the key areas to pay attention to. And then I would be paying very close attention to what happens when we get into those areas. Do we move through those areas, or do we reject through those areas and move in the opposite direction? So those are the key areas that you need to pay attention to. And guys, right now we got a heavy order up here at 2480. This is also in a gap that doesn't have any volume really in it for orders. So I would expect that when we do get up in this range, there's going to definitely be some ranging from 2450 up here to about 2500. They're going to range in here for a while because they're going to want to fill this guy up. So do pay attention to that, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we have for today. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 8:30 Central Standard Time, right here at our